Tonight on our show, we've been looking at some women who are predators. But in our next story, the women are the prey. For nearly 20 years, a growing number of prostitutes in the city of Vancouver in Canada have wound up missing. But now, that mystery may be headed to a bizarre and chilling conclusion.
The prostitutes of Vancouver, British Columbia are drawn to the seedy east side of town. Its mean streets are the last resort for the down and out, a place where women are reduced to selling their bodies just to survive, a place where they became easy targets for a predator. Starting in the early 1980s, prostitutes began disappearing from Vancouver's streets one by one, without a trace. By the late 1990s, 30 women were missing. That's when America's Most Wanted went to the seedy side of Vancouver to investigate. The city streetwalkers told our producers that they were scared for their lives.
I'm here every night, and I just wonder if this next guy is going to be it. If my life will be over every time I get into a car. It's very stressful.
The victims' families and friends were desperate for answers and concerned that because the missing women were prostitutes, the cases weren't a priority for police. But they were a priority for one man, Wayne Leng. Wayne had a friend named Sarah DeVries. She disappeared in April 1998. He was determined to make sure that she and the other missing women weren't forgotten.
You know, these people, if you look beyond the drugs and the prostitution and things like that, are very caring people. They've got good hearts. And I think that's what I want people to see, is that these women are human and they're just fallen angels.
Wayne wanted people to know that 29-year-old Sarah may have been a prostitute, but she was also the daughter of a loving family. She was a devoted sister and the mother of 2 children. Wayne didn't stop at just plastering the city with Sarah's picture. He started a hotline and created a website where people could send in information about the missing women.
It's my hope that getting this internet out like this, that people are going to see it, maybe recognize some of the faces, maybe catch the killer.
Wayne and others who knew the victims were sure that there was a serial killer on the loose, but with no bodies and no crime scenes, that was only speculation. Wayne sent all the tips he received right to the police, including one that talked about a suburb called Port Coquitlam, strange farm there, and a suspicious pig farmer.
One of the tips I received was from a fella that had a friend who was a prostitute, and she knew this other woman who had been out to Willie's place, this fella named Willie, his farm, his pig farm, and he had assaulted her and tried to kill her. And she relayed this story that on his farm he had this mobile home that had a lot of women's clothing in it, it had a lot of women's identifications in it.
The farm was owned by 2 millionaire brothers, Dave Pickton and his brother Robert, better known as Willie. They'd struck it rich when Dave Pickton sold off much of his 28 acres to housing developers. Robert continued to run the pig farm. The 2 men also ran a bar near the farm called Piggy's Palace. According to newspaper reports, Robert Pickton often bussed in prostitutes from Vancouver's east side. But for some reason, nothing ever came of the tip on the pig farm.
After receiving that tip from this fella about Willie and his pig farm in late July 1998, I forwarded that to the Vancouver Police Department, and what happened to it after that, I have no idea.
Police have no comment on why the tip wasn't followed up. Wayne had no idea how close he had come to cracking the case. No one would know for 4 more years. By early this year, Vancouver police had their 50th case of a missing prostitute. A new task force was formed with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and investigators began looking back at old leads, including the pig farm.
Off again, and chain linked it and put pigs back outside.
In early February, detectives began a thorough search of the property, and the pig farm began yielding up its horrible secrets. Purses.
I just get everybody back, please. I mean, right back.
Shoes. Identification and personal belongings, all apparently from the missing women.
The police have never said what specifically they found. They've asked families to bring a list of clothing and items that their daughters or sisters may have carried or wore.
For Wayne Leng, the awful discoveries at the pig farm were a sad vindication. Based on the new evidence found as a result of his tips, after nearly 20 years of dead ends, police have charged Robert Pickton, Willie the pig farmer, with 5 counts of murder. Investigators are examining DNA samples found on the farm, and more murder charges could soon be filed. The arrest is fueling wild speculation about how Robert Pickton might have disposed of his victims' bodies.
It's hard to keep going.
Pickton reportedly told friends about how he boiled down the carcasses of his pigs in a big vat and sold what remained to this processing plant, where they were turned into ingredients for products including animal feed and cosmetics. Could he have done the same with his victims' bodies? An even more bizarre theory is surfacing, that Pickton fed the women's bodies to his ravenous pigs.
It grosses me out because I even know this guy.
How do you know? What can you tell us?
He's a pig farmer. We've gotten pigs from this guy. I've eaten them. Like, that makes me ill. God knows where these pigs were eating. I know it sounds gross, but pigs will eat almost anything, and I'm sure you can understand what I'm saying. Is a wood chipper, God knows what he's been doing with it.
It's going to be, I think, a very long investigation by police standards. Our search here on the farm property will last months, if not into years, and we have to be prepared for that.
Just the fact that we've received over 1,000 tips alone just on this investigation thus far gives you some sort of scope again of the magnitude of how far we have to go just in the follow-up work that has to be done now in the legwork.
No matter how long it takes, the people who knew and loved the victims in Vancouver may now finally get the answers they've been waiting for. Although there's been an arrest, you can still help police unravel this shocking murder case. If you have any information about Vancouver's missing women or the Port Coquitlam pig farm, please call us tonight at 1-800-CRIME-TV.
Many of the missing women were of Native American descent, and some of their families have gotten together to create this pin to remember their loved ones by. And we can honor their memory by helping police as they continue to unravel this case. If you'd like more information about this case, please log on to our website at amw.com.